Hey Guardians, Mando here, and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to obtain the NES006 Specimen quest, how to complete that quest, as well as showing you a set of 3 hidden bosses that you can find within the battlegrounds. So, let's get into it. So unlike the previous weeks where the Specimen quest was just given to you by Failsafe as you were progressing through the weekly story, this week she doesn't just give it to you, you actually have to go and look for it while you're speaking with Failsafe. What you're going to want to do is go over to the research bays, and you're going to want to look at the top row, and all the way to the right you'll see proximity sensor alert, and you're going to want to pick that up. Essentially, she is sending you to retrieve an item that has piqued her interest. Now, I'm not exactly sure whether or not this item actually shows up in each of the battlegrounds, but I'll show you where I found it and which battlegrounds I was in whenever I found it. So what you're going to want to do is load up the battlegrounds, which you'll notice here as we load in on the left hand side of the screen that there is a text showing Research Specimen Detected. And you're going to want to progress through the battlegrounds until you hit this point. And you're going to notice here on the left hand side again that there is text there saying proximity sensor, and there's a bar underneath it as well as a little bit of a sound indicator. And this kind of leads you to the general area where you can find the item that Failsafe is asking you to go and find. Now, like I said, I don't know if this shows up in each of the battlegrounds, but this one seemed to be by the pistons that you slam down in each of the battlegrounds. So if you don't end up in the Delve battlegrounds, check to see if the text is there whenever you load into the battlegrounds, and also check by the pistons to see if the proximity sensor is showing up. But once you pick that item up, you're going to want to return to the helm and speak with Failsafe, and she will give you the Specimen ID NES006 quest. This quest has 5 steps, with the first one being get sidearm and auto rifle final blows. Now, it doesn't matter which sidearm or auto rifle you decide to use for these final blows. It can be a regular primary sidearm or one of these special sidearms, and as well as any auto rifle of your choosing. I personally went with Kvostov and a rocket assisted sidearm. After that step, it's going to ask you to get arc final blows, which again can be with any weapon that does arc damage, whether it's a secondary or a heavy, or it can even be through abilities and supers. And then the third step will be generate orbs of power. Now, I will say you can get kills for any parts of this quest anywhere. It doesn't matter where. However, there are bonuses for defeating guardians for most of the steps. I will say whenever it comes to the orb generating step, I would definitely consider going into either Crucible or Gambit, as the progression is much faster than doing this in either a lost sector or somewhere else in the game. Once you completed these steps, you're going to want to return to the helm and speak with Failsafe, and she'll have a little bit of a dialogue, and then she will hand you the Assimilated torch hammer. Once she gives that and you pick that up, it will ask you to place it into the display case. Once you've placed it in the case, you're going to want to turn right back around and speak with Failsafe and go into the research bays. And you'll see there on the bottom row, the second one has now unlocked the Combat Protocol Override. What this essentially is asking you to do is to return to the Echo's battlegrounds and defeat high-value targets. There's 1 target in each battlegrounds for a total of 3, which I will now let the background gameplay show you where those locations are. Now, once you've defeated each of the high value targets, on the third one, you're going to want to actually finish that battleground, because in the final chest at the end, it's going to give you a beacon that is going to show you where to go next. Upon inspecting the beacon, you'll see that it is the Assimilated beacon. This tells you to return to Nessus and go to the Watcher's grave, and once you arrive there, you will notice that there is a new conflux that hasn't been there before. You'll want to go up to the conflux and you're going to want to activate it, and the 3 bosses that you just fought are going to appear in front of you. Now, fair warning, these bosses do have quite a bit of health, and there is a timer of 5 minutes that you have to defeat these bosses. So either make sure that you rally at a public event to make sure that you're stocked up on ammo and ready to go, or bring some fellow guardians along with you to make it just a tad bit easier. But once you take the bosses down, you will be given the Demo Squad Triumph, as well as some rare samples that will give you some other triumphs as well. Well, Guardians, that's all for this one. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, be sure to leave a like and also consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this. But for now, I'll see you in the next one.